I will rant about education for days. All right, we're going to talk about now the distributive property. So we talked about the commutative property a little bit ago, but now we're going to talk about the distributive property. And this word distributive comes, as I'm sure you're aware, as it seems pretty obvious to me, from the word distribute. Again, the names of the things will tell you what you're supposed to do. Okay? So the word distribute is literally handing things out, right? If I have a bunch of flyers and a bunch of people and I want to distribute those flyers, I'm literally just handing them out to each person. Yeah? That is what distribution means in a multiplication context, and it helps with mental math, and we're going to see how in just a moment. Oh man, I get so excited when there are people engaged on in chat. I appreciate you all so much. We're going to talk about visualizing the distributive property. So we've got 7 times 4 here, right? We've got 7 times 4 here, but if you look at it, it's also the same thing as, well, this looks like 7, no, not 7. This looks like 5 times 4, yeah? Just the blue bits. Just the blue bits. That's 5 times 4, right? That is 4 5 times. 4 rows, or 4 rows with 5 in each row. Plus 2 times 4. I hope that makes sense. Yes? If you have 5 times 4 and 2 times 4, that is the same as 7 times 4. Right? If I've got 5 groups of 4 and 2 groups of 4 and I put them together into a big pile, I've got 7 groups of 4. So that's, what did I just say? 5 4s and 2 4s, yeah? So same deal, if I have 9 times 4 but I break it up like this, that's 5 4s and 4 4s, which is the same thing as 20 and 16, which is the same thing as 36. 3 different ways, 4 different ways if you include the picture, of saying the same thing. And Mikai makes a great point. When I first came back to Khan Academy and started doing like kindergarten math and 1st and 2nd grade math, I got a lot of benefit from it because even though I'm a math teacher and I've been teaching math for 20 years, yes, 20 years, I still gain benefit from practicing the fundamentals. Everybody does. There's a reason why professional football players do line drills, you know, every day, even when they're like all-stars. Right? So anyway, use the tape diagram to break 9 times 6 into 9 times 5 and 9 times 4. So that's, wait, 1 2 3 4 5. Oh, 6s. God, I got messed up. I got so excited that I have so many, that I have several viewers. 1 2 3 4 5 6s and 4 6s. Yes, so that's B. And then we have 8 times 4, which is 5 4s and 3 4s, which is the same thing as 20 plus 12, which is 32. Do you see? I really want to focus on this for a moment, because if I'm doing 8 times 4, I could do 5 times 4 and 3 times 4 and add them together. That is a mental math trick that I now have that I can do. That's not the way I do things, personally. If I was going to do 8 times 4, I would do 8 times 2 is 16, times 2 again is 32. But this is an absolutely valid way of breaking up this multiplication. And it makes mental math so much easier. All right. So let's see. We have more distributive property. 8 times 8 is 5/8 and 3/8. 5/8 is 40. 3/8 is 24. So the total is 64. And I want to again stress the fact that this is not how I would do things. This is not how my mind works. But that's okay. It's okay if the way you do things and the way your teacher does things are different, so long as you can communicate your process and it makes sense. All right, so 7 times 8 is the same thing as 5 times 8 plus 2 times 8, which is 40, plus 16, which is 56. 9 times 4, oh, neat. So now we're doing the same thing, but with subtraction. Remember, in previous videos, we talked about how if I'm going to add 19 to something, to pick a number, I could instead add 20 and subtract 1, right? Because that's the same 19. We're going to do the same thing, except we're going to subtract a 4. 9 fours is 10 fours minus 1 4. Which is 40, minus the 1 4 is 36. I hope that makes sense. I really do. 9 times 7 is the same thing as 10 times 7, and I think we can all agree that 10 times 7 is a much easier multiplication to do, right? If I'm going to do 9 times 7, yeah, totally. Do 10 times 7 is 70, just add a 0. And then you just subtract off 1 copy of 7, right? Because you overcounted. You put in too many 7s. That's too many 7s. Take one of the 7s back. So that's 70 minus 7, which is 63. And that's the distributive property.